Hello, everybody, and welcome to my live stream. Did you know that 122 million people access YouTube every single day, approximately, right? These are approximate numbers. And that out of those 122 million people, 5 billion videos are watched daily. Out of those 5 billion, 70 billion shorts are viewed every single day. Now, those are incredible numbers. If you have a business and you want to reach your ideal customer, if this is the best way to do it. It's the people are saying it's the new Hollywood. YouTube is the new Hollywood. And I'm really excited about this live stream. We are going to be talking about why businesses are failing on YouTube today. And before I cover that, before I cover why they're failing and offer you a few solutions, let me just spend a second telling you about myself. My name is Eric Calderon, and I'm the founder of Content Guaranteed. We're a business that helps businesses succeed on YouTube. Okay, so let me just check the chat here for a second. Hello, Tomoko. How you doing? It's so great to see you on the live stream. And now let's get into really quickly, the 5 top reasons why businesses fail on YouTube. Okay. I really want to go over each one of those. And then later on, I will go into some fixes, like how you can fix that. The first major fail is that marketing departments and businesses are kind of looking at YouTube as a project for their business to do, right? It's like it's under social. It's kind of like, oh, we need to create these posts for social media to get out there. I think that's a major fail in how businesses are looking at YouTube. It's all about how you're looking at it. The next major fail that's pretty big is that the executive level doesn't have a strategy. They're like, "Oh, it's the marketing's department kind of deal." And then there's just like random topics and there's too many opinions, too many people saying, "Oh, this is for YouTube and this is for YouTube and we need to do this." It's too much of that. There's no like single focus on the strategy for YouTube on the executive level. The third major fail that I see in businesses is that they don't map out the videos with the buyer's journey, right? I mean, there's some really, really good books out there about the buyer's journey and what they go through from the top of the like the sales funnel, from the top of the funnel all the way down to when they actually make that decision. And by the way, 70% of those 122 million people that watch YouTube every day always use YouTube before they make a purchase. So that's just huge to know for businesses that are thinking about or doing YouTube. Okay, so the fourth major fail that I see is that businesses aren't looking at the metrics correctly. They're more interested in views. They want a viral video. They want a million views. They look at how many subscribers they have. And I mean, okay, that stuff is a little bit important. It's nice to have a million subscribers, but does that really help your return on investment? If you have a million subscribers, are you actually closing sales? That's what's important, closing sales. So looking at the wrong metrics is another major fail. And the fifth failure that I want to go over today is that the execution of the video is terrible. Okay. Either the kind of content that you're creating is terrible, the structure of the video. I mean, it's just like basic 101 storytelling is not there. That's huge mistake. So um, I'm going to look over at the chat for a second and see, do you guys have any questions so far? Because I do want to make this very interactive. And on those major fails, hey, yeah, post like what are your obstacles in if you're at a business owner creating content, or you're a chief marketing officer creating content for YouTube for your business. Like, what are your major fails? What are your obstacles, and what is preventing you from using YouTube successfully to build the business? Okay, and then let's move on, right? So now let's take a look at kind of the fixes for these things. So the first major obstacle that the first major failure that I see is that companies use YouTube as like a project, a social media kind of thing. Like, oh, let's post this. It's very inconsistent. They they don't know what they're posting. It's not scheduled. So let's take a look at that for a second, and let's talk about the fix. Um, the oh yeah, Tomoko says it's hard to be consistent. Man, it is so hard to be consistent. Tomoko, you're so right. But so let's take a look at it in the sense that um, you need to look at it like a business. You know, YouTube, apply a business model to YouTube. You know, create a strategy, create a content, create consistencies, have scheduling deadlines. I mean, you know, if you let's take the news first, just for a second. Let's take the news, okay? And this is old school news. Like this is when I was a kid. The 13 channel 13 news was on every day at 7 p.m. Imagine if they didn't show up at 7 p.m. Imagine if that broadcast didn't happen at 7 p.m. You would think there's something wrong with the world. You would think, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. There's no news broadcast. So, you know, they have a very structured business strategy behind everything they do. So on YouTube, if you're thinking about using YouTube for your business, you should write a business plan for it, a whole business plan. I mean, it takes with ChatGPT nowadays, man, it would take you 5 minutes, maybe a little bit more because you do need to tweak it a lot. And maybe one day, you know what, that would be a great live stream. I think having a live stream on how to use ChatGPT to write your business strategy for YouTube might be a great live stream to do in the future. I think I'll do that. But anyways, you know, coming up with a business plan and having it structured and then sticking to it. Most business owners understand this very well because you had to do that. You had to write a business. You didn't have to, but if you wrote a business plan, most likely you're still in business. Like I wrote a business plan when I lived in Japan in 19, I think it was like 1996. I wrote a business plan for my martial arts school. And this was in 1996. And today, I still have a martial arts school. I still teach martial arts. I only teach twice a week right now, but I still have it because I had a business plan. It's still in business. Okay. So now, do you guys have any questions about that? About business structure? Let's see. The Tomoko is so awesome. It's hard to be consistent. I feel like same videos every day. Yeah, that's the hard part. Is actually coming up with uh, a plan for how many videos you need to make and what kind of videos. Okay, so now let's look at failure number two. So, failure number two, of course, is no executive level strategy. So, you know, once you have a business plan, once you have, you know, you're not treating YouTube as a project anymore, then that's kind of leaning into having an executive level strategy, having, you know, um, making sure that the topics are not random, tying those, you know, that goes back into tying those into the buyer's journey. Like you have like three levels: awareness, trust, and conversion. So these are like the three kind of levels that you have of video content that you can create. Let's call them buckets. You put these videos in this bucket of um, awareness, and these are like your top of the funnel videos where you're trying to get the most amount of views. And remember, your viewers are not your customers. That's the biggest mistake businesses make, is that they think that their viewer is their customer. Your viewer is not your customer. Your customer is already buying your product or your service. The viewer has not. So, awareness videos. The next level are trust videos. You know, you want to build trust. So that now you're pushing people down the sales funnel from awareness, which is huge, and you're bringing them down into building that trust, building that brand presence, people looking up to you as a source of information, and actually saying, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. And then at the bottom of the funnel, you have conversion. And that's where people are like about to make that decision and they buy your product instead of someone else's, right? And if you're out there and you're building trust and building awareness, then it's just so easy to get them to purchase with you. That's the key. Now, what do those videos look like? Awareness videos are kind of like how-to videos, educational videos, talking about how to use the product and stuff like that. Then trust videos are more like testimonials. You're actually building trust by maybe interviewing a client or a customer and talking with them and getting people to trust you. Conversion videos look like pricing videos. Like, okay, we did a video for a foundation repair company, and it was how much does foundation repair cost? And then we went in and we talked about exactly from the expensive level to the cheap level around what are the prices for foundation repair. And then that builds conversion. That says, okay, well, if these guys are so expensive, why are they so expensive? And these guys are so cheap, why are they so cheap? And let's make a decision. Let's go with Cortec Foundation. And those videos work. Okay. Let me take a look at the notes for a second. Um, yeah, and then executive level strategy. We talked a little bit about too many opinions. You've got too many people. There's a famous saying: too many cooks and not enough chefs, or too many. Yeah, everybody wants to be a chef, but nobody wants to be a cook. Uh, and you need to have one chef. You need to have one person that's really coming up with the strategy and not like so many opinions. Now, of course, when you're coming up with ideas, then that's great. Like come up with 100 different ideas. With one client, I had like 10 pages of ideas. Actually, he pulled them up on one of the videos. 10 pages of ideas of what kind of content we could create, and they're all listed into different buckets. And then we go in and we choose the best ones for the viewer, right? Not for me, not for the business, but for the viewer, which, by the way, too many people do. Too many people make videos centered on themselves and their business and not on the viewer. So, that's a major mistake. And that's we'll talk about that and execution at the very end. Now, so then, yep, random topics, too many opinions. And one excellent thing to do for getting executive level strategy is to have a one-page strategy. If you can go up, like let's say you're the chief marketing officer, and you can go up to your CEO and explain the YouTube strategy in 1 minute, you've got it down. That's like a one pager, 1 page, 1 minute. Explain. It's like the elevator pitch. Explain your YouTube strategy in 1 minute. How is it going to get your business more customers, more sales? How can you increase your return on investment? That's the bottom line. Okay. Failure number 3, mapping it out to the buyer's journey. Do you know who your customer is? I mean, I'm sure you do if you're in business. And especially if you're making $2 million a year or more, $100 million, you know who your customer is. And why are your YouTube videos not mapped out to your buyer's journey? I saw one YouTube channel that it had like 30 videos on it, and 30 videos were like 30-second commercials. That's it. I mean, how is that mapped out to the buyer's journey? How are you using YouTube as a tool for those 122 million people every day to help them make a decision? A commercial does not help people make a decision. I remember when I was a kid and I hated commercials. Like I'm watching a TV program and all of a sudden a commercial comes on. And even on YouTube nowadays, it's like a commercial pops up. I wait those 3 seconds and I hit skip. And actually, on one account, I even bought the the premium subscription, so I don't get those ads at all. So if you're a YouTuber out there, if you enjoy watching YouTube and you want to get rid of those ads, just pay for the subscription. It's like $9 a month. I mean, it's worth it. $9 a month for every like 3 little seconds that pops up and wastes my time, dude. So worth my time. I get to watch a video without interruption, focused on the stuff that I want to watch, not on what they want to throw at me, not what a company wants to throw at me as a commercial. That's like no good. I think if you're using YouTube as a commercial, That's not mapped to the buyer's journey. So, mapping into the buyer's journey again, going back to that awareness, trust, and conversion. What bucket are you putting those videos in? What topics are you talking about? I think we can use an example. I mean, like, yeah, like, I mean, this let's say you are a nail salon, because last time Tomoko came up and she said, "Oh, there she is. I know too many ads these days." Yeah. Well, the last live stream, Tomoko said, "What about a nail salon?" So, what kind of videos are are at least I can skip after a few seconds. Yes, that's that's the bomb. 3 seconds, man. That's all you got to do. Put up with those commercials. So, if you're a nail salon, what kind of awareness videos would you do? I mean, for example, I mean, I would say like something very trendy, something very exciting, something very hot, something that's going to get a lot of views would be like how to do your nails before a date. I mean, how many women would wanna watch that, right? How to do your nails before a date. And boom, I mean, like, those makeup tutorials, those are huge. And then, how to wear your nails for a black tie event. How to wear your nails to go to the movies, how to wear your nails for a restaurant. If you have kids, what are the best nail treatments to do so that, because the kids are gonna mess up your nails big time, I think. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and I went to a friend's house. I must have been like 6, 7 years old. I went to a friend's house, and the mother had just gone to the beauty salon, spent like $150. And back then, $150 is probably like $500 today. And, I was like a swimmer. I swam every single day. I loved swimming. I went to the bottom of the pool and I could hold my breath for 5 minutes. I remember I would swim 50 meters underwater without a problem. I was 7 years old. So I went down to the bottom of the pool and just hung out. And I think I was down there for 5 minutes, close to 5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes, maybe 3.5 minutes, because the mother freaked out. She jumped into the pool to try to save me. And I was like, oh, I'm okay. I'm just holding my breath. She flipped out. To make a long story short, I never went to their house again. I was never invited to their house again. So that, I ruined, because I ruined her whole makeup, her hair, her nails, her everything. She was going on a date that night. So, okay, back to awareness videos. That's a great awareness video. Now, how do you build trust? Building trust would be like product reviews. Like, hey, which out of these nail polishes, which are the best for your nails? And just going into detail about the, I don't know, the social, the environmental impact of those nails, the impact on your nails, maybe talking to a doctor, a dermatologist, really building trust around that person in that nail salon. Then, then conversion videos, that would be like a day at the nail salon. Do like a client coming in and having their nails done and talking to the nail stylist and asking the nail stylist questions about the nails. That would be a great video. And that would be like a conversion video, because first of all, that would show the store, that would show the nails technicians, because that again, that's building that trust, showing those nail technicians. So when the customer walks in for the first time, they feel like they know you, that you've already built a relationship with them and they've never been into your store. That's how you map the buyer's journey. Okay. So, oh, Vivian, I remember that incident. You made me laugh. That's my mom, by the way. Hi, mom. How are you? It's so nice to see you. Yeah, that was I remember that. That was I've, I like that story a lot. I actually it was I'm glad it made you laugh, mom. Okay. So, let's talk about failure number 4, the wrong metrics, right? Everybody wants views. Everybody wants likes, and everybody wants subs. I mean, I want them. I want them on my page. So if you haven't subscribed to my page, please subscribe. Please hit that like button. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell, because that tells YouTube that you want to know when I release a video. And the amazing thing is it's all free. It's like the best thing in the world. Is better than going to the movie theaters. I think I haven't been to the movie theaters, and I'm a huge movie guy, and I haven't been to the movie theaters in a year. Plus. They don't have anything good out there. I walked over there to the what's the name of that Star Cinema Grill in City Center, and I went upstairs. I checked out what movies they have, and Kill Bill. They're showing Kill Bill again. They're showing like three movies that I saw when I was like in the 80s, 90s. I don't remember 2000, like 20 years ago. Why do I want to pay? It's like $16 a ticket now to watch a movie that I watched a long time ago that I can watch on YouTube for free. Tubi's the new one. If you don't know about Tubi, free movies. They do have commercials though, so that's where they make their money. Commercials. Don't don't do a commercial on YouTube. Okay, wrong metrics. So instead of looking at those metrics are exciting. They're fun. I would love to get my YouTube play button because I've got 1 million subscribers. But those 1 million subscribers is not the metric that I should be looking at for my business. What I need to look at is how are my sales increasing internally, right? This has nothing to do with YouTube, but are my sales increasing? Do I have new customers coming in? How is the quality of my leads coming in? So for one company that I'm doing videos for, which is Cortec Foundation, they do foundation repair. The quality of their leads has increased since we started doing YouTube videos, which and their closing rate has increased. So these metrics have influenced the buyer, and their videos are getting like 100 views. It's not like 1 million views. Their videos are getting 100, 200. One video has 900 views. I mean, that's very, very low, especially if you're a, $10 million company. But if it's affecting your bottom line, your sales, if you get 10 views and you get a new customer and that one new customer brings you $50,000, that's the metric that you want to look at. Okay? That's the best metric. I mean, I know one guy, one company that they're they just want to get those views up. So most of those views are coming from India, and none of those Indian viewers are actually going to buy their product. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, now let's look at the last major failure for companies is that execution, how you're structuring your video. I mean, this is major because you in today's information age, we have so much coming at us as viewers. I mean, 5 billion videos are watched a day on YouTube. I mean, that's huge. That's a major. And if your video is not structured correctly, you're going to lose the viewer in the first 10 seconds. Okay? So you're making a video. Let's come up with this hypothetical situation. I like the nail salon video. I'm a nail salon video. And in the first 10 seconds, I'm just rambling about what I did today. And the title of the video is the best set of nails for a date tonight at the restaurant with the man that you want to hook forever, right? And then you're just talking about you open up and you say, "Hey, I'm Eric Calderon." No. Yeah, I'm Eric Calderon. And yeah, I did this today and I did that today. And today I might go do my nails, but let's talk about your nails for a second. I mean, that's so weak. That's a weak hook. How can you hook your viewer in the first 10 seconds or even more, like in the first 3 seconds? And that would be talking directly to the viewer, getting them interested in your video by saying something like, "Hey, you're going on a date tonight and you want to know what is the best way to do your nails so that when that guy sitting in front of you at the restaurant notices, he's like, wow, this woman is beautiful. I want to spend the rest of my life with this woman." Then you've hooked that person, and structuring that video in a way that's going to keep your viewer engaged. You want them engaged throughout the whole video. You want them to watch the whole video because the more they watch, the more their eyes are on you, the further down that funnel, that sales funnel that you get them, the buyer's journey down. So you don't want any boring pacing. You don't want to be amateurish about it. You want to be very structured. Understand storytelling. What is storytelling? How am I setting this up? What's the conflict and what's the resolution? Which the resolution is the payoff. That that lady watching the video for the nails, like at the very end, is she gonna feel like she's got this down and she's gonna walk into that restaurant and sit down with her future husband, very confident about feeling good about her nails and how she looks, right? That's the payoff. And you've got to have that structure so that people enjoy and stick to watching that video and then trust you. That's like building that trust. Is gear important? Not really. Is lighting important? Yes. Is audio important? Audio is very important. That's like if you have terrible audio, you're going to lose. Doesn't matter how good your video is, you're going to lose the viewer because they need to hear, right? Unless you know, they're maybe they're watching in a different language and you got great subtitles, right? Okay, so let's reset. So I went over the 5 things. I went over 5 fixes that you can work on. This is a very, very top of the level general video. Maybe we can dive in. Maybe I'll make some future live streams, dive into each one of these into really deep and look at it in a way that can structure your videos and your content better. But if you have any questions, definitely leave them in the chat, leave them in the comments below, and I'll answer them. I love helping people grow their YouTube channel. So that's my spiel, right? I want to help you build your business through YouTube. I love doing that. Every time I have a client and they call me up and they say, "Hey, Eric, you won't believe this," but I had one client called me up and said, "Hey, Eric, you won't." I walked into his office and we were going to film a video, and he says, "Eric, you won't believe this." His videos were getting like 40 views. You know, each video was getting like 40 views. He's like, "You're not going to believe this. This guy walked in and gave me $10 million." And I was like, that's what YouTube is all about for me, helping you build your business. Now, of course, um, if you'd like a free consultation, visit my website, www.contentguaranteed.com. And I've got a little form on there that you can schedule a free 30-minute strategy session with me. I'd love to sit down and talk to you about it, talk to you about, you know, your videos and how you're using your videos to help you get more customers. So I hope you guys had a great time listening to this. Let me just look at my notes real quick. Um, yeah, I'd love to do a Q&A. I guess we have, let's take a look at this for a second. Okay. Um, well, you know, I just started these live streams, so I know just, and that's a great point. I only have 3 people watching, but being consistent. I just started these live streams last week. Every week, I want to do a live stream to help you build your business through YouTube. And I know it's going to take time to build up those viewers to get the word out so that people understand what I'm doing. And it takes time to build it. I mean, I just started my YouTube channel like maybe it was 6 months ago. I've got 224 subscribers. So looking at that is not the metric that you should be looking at. There are other metrics like consistency, quality, strategy, all that good stuff. So please, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below because we're going to end this live stream right now. Visit my website. I'd love to help you build a strategy for your business. I've got a free online scheduling thing through Calendly. And oh, we just got a good question. How often should I make videos? That's a very nice question. How often should I make videos? And that is a definitely good question. And of course, every situation is different. I think the better your strategy is, the more often you might want to do videos. But at least, you know, once a week, doing a nice, good video once a week is a great way to start. But now with the oh yeah, Tomoko, is once a month okay? You know, I don't think once a month is okay unless you're creating a video, like unless you're spending 2 or 3 months creating a video that's going to be top quality, that's going to be more like a documentary. And like Casey Neistat just released a video on on a marathon run, the New York Marathon, and I know that video probably took him at least 3 or 4 weeks to put together. He released it, and I mean, it's an amazing video. It's going to get millions of views. unless you're going to do something like that, yeah, once a month is okay. Mark Rober does once a month, and his videos get millions of views. Um, it, it's just the amount of time you're spending on the production and the amount of money you're spending on the production. But for a business, I think that once a week is the bare minimum to start off with. You want to, and then you want to go more, like release more videos per week for as a very, very good strategy. Right now, for my content guaranteed business, I'm releasing one video per week. I have two shorts released per week. Then I have one live stream per week. And I'm starting a podcast once per week. So that's six videos per week, six like content. And it's all strategy, it's all structured, it's all geared at you guys watching this video, right? It's not about me, it's about you, helping you improve your strategy and your content so that you can build your business and get more customers. Okay. So, I am talked out. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching this video after my live stream, thank you for watching this video. Also, please make sure that you subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, hit that bell notification button. And one last question, Tomoko says, can I just do shorts? Yes, you can if that's your strategy, right? Some people do that. They're very successful at doing shorts. Shorts used to be, I think, 60 seconds, which it's pretty hard to make a video in 60 seconds that really um, talks about your service or your product. Now they're 3 minutes long. So with a 3 minute video, with a 3 minute short, and I think it's a TikTok, they're 10 minutes long. So now you have so much more time, and shorts are, if you just do shorts, yes, you can just do shorts. All right, guys. Thank you for being here. I look forward to seeing you on my future live streams, and